That's Green Megumi, right? That's Green Megumi. Hello everyone, you saw that correctly. I managed to pull Green Bonds and Pairs Megumi from the standard banner. I was just, let me do a couple of tickets. But surely there won't be anything crazy, right? And then I just hit the record button when I saw that SSR character flash up, and lo and behold, it was Green Megumi. We absolutely take that for freaking sure, because a new SSR is always a massive W in this game, especially for someone like me, where why necessarily use them in content? I'm not really planning to, at least at the moment, but it is nice to just have him and to have a character to go ahead and help the day-to-day progression be just a little bit more enjoyable, with having a goal of progressing and evolving the character in terms of grades and levels. But let me go ahead and get into the topic of this video, that being where my account is right now, what my plans are, and the overall state of Phantom Parade. So let's go through these one by one. First of all, state of my account. Very good. I have all of the limited characters and the limited memories, and of course here is the box. The characters with the favorite icon are not grade 15 max, so assume everyone else is max grade 15 as well. I only have a couple of characters not level 140, and I have quite a few of them stamped for freaking sure. So that's absolutely amazing. Although I don't expect at least to be able to get 0.2 second domain Gojo. That's because of a little bit of cube mismanagement on my part by summoning on Red Rabbit Escape. I really should not have done that for sure. Even if I would have gotten him, I wouldn't have been like that. I didn't need Red Rabbit Escape. I don't know why I didn't stick by my own word. That's my fault. But of course, I was at least a little bit justified on summoning for Shoko and a lot for Kusakabe. I got I can show you right now. Let me show you. Let me just show you right quick. Let me show you. Not this. Yeah, okay. I went ahead, did a couple of summons on here. Did quite a few summons. I did pull the memory. That was the first summon on there, is the memory, and an SSR character, which was, it was Nanami. And I get another SSR character, and it's Junpei. Not sure about my path to get out of there. Cleared in, SSR Panda. And yeah, it just kind of went downhill from there. So unfortunate, kind of a reprieve from the massive luck spike of literally just getting the character within the free multi on, first anniversary for Global. But, of course, you might be wondering, why would you even summon for Rabbit? I mean, okay, you're justified in saying why would you summon for Rabbit Escape? Your red is so goated. You can literally clear all red, which, yeah, fair enough. I will not follow you for saying, yeah, that's my stupid. We accept their faults. We accept their faults in this channel. We admit those for sure. But I was at least justified in summoning for Shoko and Kusakabe because I'm stuck on 484. Just the hardest floor and tower currently, because you have to have either Shoko or Kusakabe, and even with Shoko but no Kusa, it's literally like a turn 30, turn 29 clear. It's very tight. You have to have just everything perfectly to be able to clear that tower, which we're going to get to that in a second. But yeah, it's unfortunate, but only materials I'm going to have for 0.2 second domain expansion Gojo is going to be quite literally the free multi. I'll probably just tuck 3,000 cubes, and if that's, it'll just be it is what it is. It'll just be it is what it is right at that point. But And then I'll just go ahead and start skipping every other banner. There's not really anything that I need from the upcoming lineup. Well, besides, but besides Shoko, besides Kusakabe, there's nothing else I really need. There's cool characters, don't get me wrong, especially 0.2 second Domain Gojo. I want 0.2 second Domain Gojo. Like all of y'all, right? He is a character that debuted as sort of the after party for Anniversary. I definitely appreciate that they delayed him for Global, though, because for the Japan version, it was back to back to back to back to back to back to back. If it was back to back to back to back to back to back to back for like that for Global, Global will be cooked. Like, I know Global doesn't really have, I mean, of course, the game itself doesn't really have a lot of base content, and we'll get to that for sure, but you at least got a little bit of time to save. I mean, we're at the halfway point between first anniversary and 0.5 anniversary right here, so I mean, him being like this quote-unquote anniversary 2.25 for Global, that's pretty good. That's pretty high. I do like him as a midway point between those two major celebrations. That's awesome. That's cool. For sure. But it is undeniable that, Global is so cooked for 0.2 domain expansion. Yes. But the Japan version was even more cooked on their schedule, for sure, because it was right after all these limited characters. But I definitely think that's the first complaint I'm gonna level right now. I have all of them, for sure. I definitely do. I definitely got very, very lucky. But it was because I got very, very lucky. That is the only reason I have all these limited characters, is literally because of luck. I literally did not have enough pity to get I think a single one of these guys. So yeah, that is definitely a problem. I definitely think they should not pack all of their limited characters into one celebration. Yes, they should pack quite a bit of limited characters into the anniversary, but I definitely think they should just naturally do it like how Global is doing it, if that makes sense, and kind of spread a limited character outside of anniversary, just put a limited character here, limited character there. I think that would be very, 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 very healthy for the game if they spread out limited character releases for sure outside of anniversary, and not jam pack it so much like Blue Yuta, and then the anniversary, and then going ahead and having 0.2. For the Japan version, that was a lot. For Global, we actually got a little bit of downtime between those. Japan version did not. I just wanted to spell the argument right now, and as the dust settles, and the Global version is going ahead and having the slowdown, which is very, very bad. We'll get to that later on about why that dead weeks are just objectively terrible. I think the Global benefits are starting to catch up. I really do think having just that, the wish list plus content illusory tower Global, even though it is behind on the same content eventually that the Japan version has, for sure, just at a little bit of a slower pace, they get the limited tower floor and the wish list. I think that those two pieces alone just put Global up on just this level. I really do want this to not be a Global exclusive, by the way. I just really want... But, I mean, the ideal is both versions join and both versions get the benefits of the other version. Of course, Global getting the benefits of hype, benefits all the latest changes coming to Global, all of that kind of good stuff. And the Japan getting the Global benefits of the limited time floor on the wish list, because those are really good benefits. And I'm one of those who was like, yo, outside of hype, I definitely am not a big fan of the argument of, oh my gosh, Global's so dead, but you can go over to JP. They're having quite a good content for sure. And I definitely think so. I definitely think the Japan version has a lot of improvements. They have like the Culling games is very, very good for that. Oh my gosh, they are doing quite a lot of good updates, quite a lot of reruns too, for sure. Absolutely amazing and fantastic in that regard. But the day-to-day definitely could be improved massively, massively, massively. And that is one of the final points I wanted to touch on is what are the main problems for this game going into year 2 and how can we address them? First off, before we even get into the content, we just have to address global is going through these absolutely dead periods right now. I'm sure you've heard other content creators talk about how dead global is. Oh my gosh, global dead. And for sure, it definitely is some of Global's fault. Global should not have a completely dead week. That should just not exist. Flat out, period, hard stop. Global should be putting out a piece of content, even if it is not a good piece of content. They should be putting out a event every single week. I don't know why they are insistent on just doing these dead weeks. We literally have events that we have a couple events that we still need to catch up on from like a while ago. I don't know why they don't just put them in these dead weeks. I really don't know what they are doing on that front. But at the same time, there is just a whole game fault with content as well, for sure. There's definitely some good ones. I don't think a lot of other content creators are really mentioning how the good side of the content. Let's get into it. Global exclusive limited time floors, awesome, amazing, absolutely love them. I even wish there was more stages of that. I would say if they doubled the stages of the limited time floor, that would be perfect. That would be awesome. I would absolutely love that. I love limited time illusory tower. That's absolutely fantastic. Amazing. Formidable foe event, Imaginary Realm. Absolutely amazing. We love all the revamps and changes they've done to that mode to absolutely make it epic and awesome. All the conditions are super, super, super fun. That is a absolutely fantastic game mode. They're adding more bosses. They've added like the Seance Toji recently on the Japan version. They have an Imaginary Realm going on right now, which is Final Form Mojito. Absolutely amazing. Mwah, chef's kiss. The main piece of content that we really don't like, though, is the story event and the map events as well. I don't agree with content creators when they say the story quest is boring. I think the 1-2 EX stages they release with story, I really do think those are awesome. I really, really like EX. I really like that. That's awesome. You can try a variety on teams on those kind of events. I really do think Story Quest EX is really fun. I'm not gonna say that's not awesome. And of course, Story Quest is just a bunch of free cubes. I think that's amazing. Now, for story events, I definitely think that they already showed us a solution, right, for this. Because I don't want to be just posing problem. I want to pose solutions. The solution for this is they've already kind of done this. For the first anniversary, they had a story event where they had a ridiculously hard boss at the end, a super special boss where he had a lot of HP, a lot of quirky conditions on like support memories. He would just like time gate memories, had all these special quirks to it, right? And that was, I think, how you do a special boss like that, for sure. I think they should have that kind of hardest difficulty, right? The special challenge boss where you need to like clear it 1 or 2 times and you get tons of rewards. I think that for the story event is good. I definitely think that's good. The rest of it's fine. I mean, I know it's an auto simulator, but I don't really hate that. I don't really hate how the story event structure is as much as I don't like how the map events are. Map events are really long. I will say that for sure. I do like that split into 2 days, so you have the first day where you really just get all the tickets, and the second day is when you actually go ahead and clear the rest of it, and then you go ahead and score challenges. I do think I agree with other content creators when they say that score challenge needs to be higher, a lot higher, a lot higher rewards on score challenge for sure. I think you should even push other rewards from even convert right, put more stock into that, put higher thresholds, because it's so easy, so easy. You don't even have to really try anymore to hit the max score on score challenge. So I think that should definitely be adjusted for the time, for sure. But with that being, it's not difficult. There's no difficulty in that. It's just an event. That's why the formidable battle is so good, because I think they just need to add a top level. They've got the bottom level good. They've got the bottom level right, but I think they should add that. Definitely do more formidable foes for sure. Reminiscent story is fine. I definitely don't hate that for sure. And Illusory Tower is one of those where it's adding more tower won't make the game genuinely more fun for most people, because tower is already the 1%, the 0.5% content for sure. I mean, let's for example look at this right now. I'm on floor 84 and I'm literally in the top 0.5 for clearing tower. So I definitely do not think that adding more tower will make this more fun. But I think Japan version is on the right track, because I said they've been adding these, they've been bringing back the daily mission thing. I really do like that. They've been adding free summons here and there. I really do think that the Culling Game celebration has just been a really good job of doing that. But I really do think they need to do a lot more on just the base game. The day-to-day enjoyment is not there for people. I think that overall is the first main problem. There's two. The first biggest issue, right? The characters are impressive. The base structure of the game is very good. But we just have to have more day-to-day content for most people, for sure. I definitely think so. I think that's number one. Combined with number two, it's just global being global. Despite all the objective benefits that being on this version has, for sure, I just want them to be... I don't think there's any excuse that they can give what's satisfying to people of why they can't sync. I know they said, we can't sync because of operational limitations. Why? Did you just admit that you're incompetent? Okay, right. Multi-million-dollar company is just, okay, we're just incompetent. We just can't do it, right? No, that's not good enough. We need to have this stop incompetency. And if you're not going to sync, okay, fine, whatever. But you literally cannot objectively have dead weeks. This week is shaping up to be a dead week right here. Even though we got the 3K, what is it? 3K for spring. Cool, that should have been way long ago, but cool, I guess. We are literally having another dead week. Come on. Yo, this is... they were literally trying to cover damage control by going ahead and showing 0.2 Gojo and announcing that the Culling Game Yuji is coming out in a month. Or a month. At this point, a month. But still, what in the world is going on? I just think they, at the very least, bare freaking minimum is no dead weeks. The hope is they realize and correct the incompetencies and actually sync. But the bare minimum the bare minimum, because I'm confident that they can fix a content issue. That's fixable. I think it's going already in a good trajectory. I'm not too worried about that, right? I'm not too worried about that. But not only are we late on seeing all these amazing changes, which definitely hurts, literally do not have a dead week. That is the main issues of this game. And of course, was my plans to save for half anniversary. Yeah, that's it. There's really no other characters I really need right now besides, Shoko and Kusakabe. I have a couple months to save for half anniversary, which, that's a couple months. Sounds like how long I had to save for like every other major celebration in this game, period, to begin with. So it's like I've scrapped up cubes faster for worse. So we're just gonna have to deal with that. But with that being said, hopefully y'all enjoyed this. I wouldn't necessarily say rant video. I'd say criticism. I didn't bash it too. Okay. Like that, a rant video would be completely different. You would see me a lot more. Like, you can see me, I'm calm, I'm cordial, there's no, anger flowing out of me. I don't think this was a rant video. I really don't. I genuinely think this is what a construction video looks like, right? I'm like, the game is really good, I really like it, it's really fun, but here's what we need to do to fix ourselves and get to a global. And I think we could. We do have potential. We do have potential to be a really, really good game. I think the fundamental combat system is really interesting. Really fun. It's like Pokemon to me. I really like the combat. I just don't like all the status effects, mind you. But I do like how all these characters have their unique attributes too. Okay, Yuji being Yuji inherently has attributes. Sukuna being Sukuna inherently has immunities. Mechamaru being Mechamaru inherently has immunities. I like that about this game. I think this game could genuinely do well. I just think they just need to improve these things. Base content, I think that needs to go up. Global needs to improve the incompetency of themselves as well. Of just unacceptable. No dead weeks. You literally cannot do that. But yeah, with that being said, that's my fandom parade video. Hopefully y'all enjoyed, and I hope you enjoyed this video that was only made because I pulled not Rabbit Escape Megumi, not Rabbit Escape, Divine Dog Megumi, and until next amazing video. Bye.